You all, thank you for coming here on short notice. Today I'm going to talk real briefly about the rock throwing series of attacks we've had on our freeways, primarily the 35 freeway that's been going on now for about a year and a half. First and foremost, I want this community to know that this police department, from the onset of these series of attacks, has taken this incident very seriously. We have dedicated approximately 15,000 hours, I'll say again, 15,000 hours of investigative time to trying to identify, capture, and refer to prosecution the person or persons responsible for these callous, cowardly attacks on innocent motorists here in the city of Austin and the Austin area. One of my biggest frustrations have been the mistaken belief by members of our community that our police department does not take these incidents, these attacks seriously. These attacks, as far as we are concerned, are deadly attacks with potential fatal and deadly consequences for innocent motorists. And these attacks have not discriminated. They cannot discriminate because you cannot tell who's driving a vehicle in low lighting conditions at 70 miles per hour on our interstate. So it can happen to anybody, regardless of socioeconomic standing, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of sexual orientation. So it's something that can impact anybody. So I want to make sure that people understand that we take it seriously, that we're aggressively utilizing every investigative tool at our disposal to identify the personal persons. Secondly, I'm very upset that at one point information was provided to the media that the Austin Police Department was utilizing cameras in the area where these attacks were happening. And guess what happened after we confirmed that and after the media reported that? The attacks and the location of the attacks had been centralized in one area of the city, have moved south. So we are not going to talk after today anymore about this investigation. We are not going to talk about our methods. We're not going to talk about our progress, other than to assure this community that the Austin Police Department is very aggressively pursuing all leads. Most importantly, that I am on the belief that we will capture the personal persons responsible. Lastly, one of the things that's my greatest hope is that we are able to accomplish our mission to capture the personal persons responsible for these callous, cowardly attacks before somebody gets killed. Because sooner or later, my biggest fear is a person or persons will be killed out of a chain of events that will occur when somebody gets a projectile thrown at them at a high rate of speed on a high rate freeway. Now let me just say this as well. This is not a simple set of circumstances to investigate. Imagine how difficult it is to investigate crimes that occur in a fraction of a second, this quickly, with very little witness information. One of the things that we need the public to do for us is this. If you are a victim of this type of attack, do not go home and call several hours later or wait to the next day. It is critical that if you are a victim, that you pull over to a safe location, but immediately call 911, because we want to be able to respond quickly, we want to respond aggressively, and we want to respond as many assets to the area of the crime, the area north and south of the crime, so we can set up a dragnet and try to get as much intelligence as we can when an incident occurs. So again, to the public, if you are a victim, please do not go home, please do not wait, please do not let a minute of time go by before you call 911 and put us on notice so we can respond aggressively to look for the suspect. The last thing I will tell you today is that I'm very grateful to the Greater Austin Crime Commission that today has agreed to provide a $10,000 reward. Again, that's a $10,000 reward to anyone who provides information that leads to the arrest and conviction of their person or persons responsible for these attacks. Again, that's a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for these attacks. I want to just say to the Crime Commission, whose members are great advocates for the public safety community, great supporters of the Austin Police Department and first responders throughout Austin and Central Texas. I want to say thank you. I approached them and without hesitation, they have agreed to provide $10,000 for the information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for this. Somebody out there, the thing about criminals, somebody's getting their jollies out of victimizing innocent people, out of terrorizing a community. Somebody out there knows something, and I urge you to step forward, not just for the $10,000, but I urge you to step forward and say something before somebody is killed. We know we've had 2 individuals already seriously injured, and the last thing we want is the blood and the loss of life because someone did not make the right choice by stepping forward. So if you're listening to me and you have information, know that there's a $10,000 reward, but greater than that, you have a moral obligation and a duty to your fellow human beings to come forward with information to put this person where they belong behind bars. So with that, I will open it up to any questions. Oh, yes.
We got a call from a viewer this morning who said that they saw a rock, it missed her car, the truck next to her. She called APD, pulled over, and APD didn't respond for 20 minutes, so they took off. Turns out, according to the log, your officers went out, obviously they scoured the scene, and then when they went to her car, she was gone. What can you tell the public or encourage the public or maybe help them understand? Are you guys responding to where the scene was first and then going just so victims don't take off again?
We don't want victims to take off. They have to understand something. Please be patient. What officers will do the second they know that an attack has occurred is that we will respond to the area on both sides of that freeway in both directions from wherever the attack occurred, writing down as many license plates, getting as much as intelligence as we can. The key for us, because quite frankly, most people will not be able to see where a rock came from, right, at 70 miles per hour, and in many cases, high rate of speed and poor lighting, they're not going to know where that rock came from. The key part for us is to inundate the area for several miles in all directions from where the attack occurred to be able to gather as much intelligence in terms of looking for vehicles, vehicle descriptions, vehicle license plates. So that will be our #1 priority unless somebody's seriously injured. Now obviously giving render aid to the injured party would be a priority. But that's what they need to understand is that the second we get that notice, we will be setting up a very quick, wide dragnet to gather as much intelligence as we can. And if the person or persons responsible for this, here's my voice, know this, we're not going to rest and we're going to catch you. I guarantee you we are going to catch you. Been in this business long enough to know that idiots like this sooner or later will get caught. And my only hope is that they get caught before somebody gets killed.
I'm being told from the newsroom that information about cameras was released November 6th at a press conference. If you didn't want it out, why was it discussed at that time?
You know what, I'm not going to address that. Obviously it will not have been my preference. My understanding was that A News crew found some folks from another organization on the freeway. That started a conversation, and the decision was made when we were asked to confirm what some other agency, some other entity that's not the Austin Police Department had told the news whether we're using cameras. My understanding is that we confirmed it because we didn't want to mislead. My preference as a police chief would be that we cannot allow public pressure to dictate what we release. We can't do that. It's not in the best interest. Our job is to bring criminals to justice and justice to their victims, not to appease public opinion or public pressure. I mean, I think it's pretty ridiculous for people to think that a police department that maintains the fastest growing city in the nation with the most special events of any city I can think of, with the hardest drinking culture, such a lean organization somehow keeps this city, as it relates to violent crime, the second safest big city in the United States of America. If that doesn't speak as to the incredible dedication of men and women of the Austin Police Department to the safety of the people we serve, I don't know what will. So That was a mistake. We should have never confirmed it. I would have never confirmed it. But it is what it is. We have to move forward. I can tell you that we are using every technology and every investigative tool at our disposal to bring this person or persons responsible to justice.
Do you know of another city that's dealt with this problem at this large?
I can tell you, I came from Los Angeles, where over the years we had situations where when I was assistant chief there, we were dealing with shootings on the freeway, one after the other. It was very difficult to make cases because you don't even know what you've been hit from. You don't know where it came from. It happens so quickly. One of the things that I would like to see in the future is having all of the cameras on the freeway actually record and capture video. That is something that my team is starting to put together. You know, people talk about Big Brother this and Big Brother that, and we shouldn't have cameras. Well, here's the deal. When you have people that will end up doing the things that people like this, that throw projectiles at people and people that will shoot at people on freeways, we don't look at video unless we have a reason to. When you're in a public place, you don't have an expectation of privacy. We have to leverage technology the best that we can for two reasons. Number one, we want to have the deterrent effect, where people know that you have multimodal camera systems, including infrared and other camera systems. When they know that we can utilize technology to try to document who comes through an area and create investigative leads, that has a deterrent effect. But the second piece is, in those instances where people decide that they don't care, quite frankly, people can continue to commit crimes, probably want to get caught at some point. I don't know why they would continue. We need those investigative leads. So we're also looking at discussions and starting to put together a proposal to try to have our partners at TxDOT and other partners actually capture the videos at all these cameras all over the place and keep them for a week at a time. You know, 7-day loop where we can actually have investigative leads. Anything else?
Yeah, so this started about 1.5 years ago. It's been happening consistently. Do you feel like the people who originally started this are still the ones doing it this past weekend, or are we now dealing with a bunch of copycats?
I'm not going to speak to that. That's part of the investigation, and I'm not going to speak to that. Are you like, what are you doing over there? Periscoping or what?
Similar to it, yeah.
What is it called?
It's a new Facebook thing where you can sort of periscope on Facebook.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
That's something new. I'm going to have to learn about it. I'm supposed to be a technological guy. Anything else, Elizabeth? We want to make sure you're happy.
Oh, how are you guys still working with TxDOT pretty closely on this, or you'll just kind of taking the lead and you'll let them know when somebody's gone?
No, we're working very closely with TxDOT. We're working closely with our own city Department of Transportation. We're working closely with federal partners. We are working closely with anybody that we believe can help us. But other than that, I don't think we need to talk about who's doing what, because again, that's part of the investigation, part of the investigative strategy, and we're not going to talk about methods. Everybody have a good New Year? All right. Anything in español?
Yes.